Well, anyway, we're talking about my friend Joe, who I worked with down to Factory Mutual in Norwood. And I got to know Joe. Interesting guy. Born and raised in Nigeria, and then sent to college in Oxford, in England. So Dad had money. And Joe was an intelligent guy, very articulate. And you say, why is he a security guard? Well, there's a lot of moving parts here, but he was telling me about how the money works in Nigeria. So the absolute king of Nigeria takes all the money that the country generates, and there's a level of employees that are here beneath him. They get 50% of the money he doesn't want. After that, they're expected to take 50% of what they received and drop it down to the next level of people until you run out of levels of people, and down here at the bottom somebody gets $7. This is quite a little system they got over there.
Yeah, it's the caste system pretty much.
So Joe came to America. He has a degree in petroleum, a chemical petroleum kind of guy. So he came over here and was looking for a job and couldn't find one. And he said, I got to do something. So he says, I'm a security guard. And he says, I'm doing some other stuff too. So right now I'm happy. So I said, well, that's great. And he said, I also, for your information, get money sent to me from Nigeria from my father. He said, and I have to go over there shortly. He said, because I have been elected chief of a king of our tribe.
Wow.
So I'm saying to myself, oh man, I'm working with a nutbag here. Except a month later, I went into work, and Joe's, of course, is there. Bill, when are you going to be free? I said, well, you know my rounds. Come over around 10 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, or whatever. And he did. So he had a package of photographs that thick of him being coronated. Wow. With a crown, with all these servants around him, and they're fanning him. And he was telling me the truth.
So what's he doing over here then? With all that power and money, why?
Because they have gone nuts over there, and it is, crime is rampant every place. And he said, I took my wife and kids and I ran out of there. So he said, won't be much longer. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do, but he said, won't be much longer. I'm going to perhaps take a job beneath what I want.
Sure.
But anyway, so he shows me all these pictures of the regalia and everything, and this is where the palace is, and well, it was a nice house.
Yeah, sure.
That's all.
But
nonetheless, it was very interesting. But he said, this country is going right down the drain.
You mean
said-
our country?
No.
Oh, their country,
Nigeria.
Nigeria,
He said,
yeah.
once the British left,
Yeah.
he said it was all over. That was like 2.5 years ago or 3.5 years ago, whatever the hell it was. And he said, I got to get out. Anyway, that's my Nigeria story.
Wow, it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Interesting statistic. High school boys are more likely than high school girls to get married someday.
Well, I think that's the women's lib situation.
Yes.
I mean, it's good that they can have a career, you know, and make money and do well, but then do you want to forego a family and a husband, and what are you going to do? You're going to be old and you're not going to have anybody, you know, when you're 70 or 80. And that's the time of your life you should have everything, you
Of
know.
course.
And now you got nothing but yourself. You're sitting.
I look forward. Every Saturday,
Yeah.
the two of my boys
Yeah,
come in.
yeah, yeah.
And then I have another boy that's got a bunch of kids. We don't see him as often, but when he comes up, it's madness.
Right, right.
And I'm surrounded by my family.
Yeah, yeah.
My sister lives next door. I got another sister lives next door. My brother lives in Franklin. It's great
Yeah.
at this time of life. I know one thing. I would be very lonely if it was just Susie and I. Although she's a social butterfly.
Yeah,
and
right, right.
She goes out. She could go out and talk to the wall, and in 20 minutes,
Yeah.
the wall would be inviting her to
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's the worry that, you know, you're not going to have that many children coming up. So what's going to happen in 50 years? You know, the country's going to get smaller, and it's going to be overpowered by the immigrants that have the kids, and they have the power now.
Wow.
So, but it's nice that women, girls, got educated, got good jobs, and are doing well. But, you know, there's a difference. There's a difference between men and women, you know, and there's always going to be.
no,
and
there's not.
I know, you're right.
And there's the ones in between, too.
But for society to go on,
Yeah.
you have to have a family.
This is part of the story. The boys are more likely to get married because the girls now, some of them, not all of them, some of them, think that dating a boy is demeaning. Oh, I have to follow him around. He has to take my arm. He has to open the doors. For heaven's sake, you'd think I was a cripple. I can't do this. I can't do that. He pays for everything, and he tells me where we're going to go eat. We're going to go to blah, 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 blah. It's demeaning. I think that's part of this dichotomy
that's
here.
good. Yeah.
And also, at these ages, in early, like 20s, men go to church more often than women do. Who thought?
No, you'd think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's changing. The country's
Yep.
changing.
This one there is, that'll just read forever. Judge orders removal of the Ten Commandments from several Texas public school districts. How do you feel about the Ten Commandments being on the display?
Well, there is separation between church and state, number one, okay? So if you're a constitutionalist or something, you'd say, well, that's sort of religion and government getting together. But on the other hand, if it's a school and the majority of the people want it, parents, I don't see any harm to it. I mean, you may get an
don't either.
atheist or
Yeah.
someone from another faith that says, you know, I don't like seeing that when my kid comes to school because we don't teach them quite like that. I can see that point of it. But there is separation. you know, I don't know, and they're doing things with buildings, public buildings, taking down, you know, religious things that,
Yep.
you know, have been there for
Yep.
years. I mean, it's a changing world, and
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But let's go back to the beginning. This country was founded on Christian precepts.
Yes, it was. That's right.
Okay? So I don't. And by the way, read the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Tell
it.
me something harmful there. I mean, well, anyway. They're fighting it out in court.
Yeah, right.
Musk, a trillionaire. Shareholders debate the Tesla pay package. A trillionaire?
Well, he's the one who started the company. He's a genius. He's getting into he's the smartest man in the world. He's a good businessman. And, you know, he's a good person, not like some of these other moguls. And, hey, that's capitalism. If you're worth a lot, you're going to get paid a lot. You know, it's just
Yeah.
the way things are.
And
Because if you take him away, if he quit that company would go down, yeah, and he'd start another company, and
he'd blow your brains out
he
with
will,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to have them. I mean,
yeah.
but that's only if they make certain
Oh,
goals. I mean,
there's
yeah, there's a lot of
goals, there's
things
plenty of
right that
goals.
has to happen, right?
Yeah. But I just think this is a tempest in a teapot. Look, let the stockholders at Tesla
That's
figure
right,
it out.
right.
I could care less.
Right.
And I mean that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So, in Boston, at the corner of Mass and Cass, if you will, is where the druggies hang out.
Yep.
Now, this is the second mayor who has said, I'm cleaning this mess up. These guys are out of here. Oh, they won't go.
Well, I thought when she first got in there, they cleaned that up.
They did.
But I don't know where they went.
They knocked down the tents,
Yeah,
took
right.
them away,
Yeah.
and just said to the people, go.
Go somewhere.
Yeah. Where do we go? Away is the answer. So they did, and before you know it, they're back.
Yeah.
No, they're back. They were back within a month. Look, some of these people, it's home.
Oh, yeah.
So they're back, build the tents up again. So the big thing is the needles. That's the big complaint. Well, this is how they get their drugs, because these people are addicts.
Yep.
So we have to accept the fact that they are addicts, not criminals, addicts. Now we'll get to criminals later, but they are addicts. What the devil do we do with them?
Oh, I think you have to open up, I don't know whether you want to say hospitals or dormitories, bring these people and tell them, hey, listen, you know, we're going to help you out and get you straight again with the drugs and see if we can employ. It's a long-range project. It's not going to happen overnight. Now, if you don't want to do this, maybe we'll have to institutionalize you, you know, but we'll try to help you, get you on your feet, give you a place to live, a nice, clean place, give you meals, and get you going,
Take
get you
care of
started again.
And
But
get
if
you back on your feet.
right, but if you don't want to do it, we got to put you somewhere, and
Someplace.
it's not going to be out in the street.
That's right. Right. You're not going to live in the street and do all the foul things they do in the street. So, how do you get? All right. So let's just say they're back at Mass and Cass. They are. They're all back there again, and all the things that go on there are going on there. So, if you were charged, the mayor said to you, Ed, handle this. and I don't want to hear another word about it. What would you do?
Well, like I said before, I wouldn't say institutionalize them, but you either got to give them a choice. Do you want to get better, or do you want to do what you're doing? If what you're doing, well, maybe we're going to have to open up Walpole Prison or the Rentham State School and put you there, and at least you're going to live there, and you're going to, we're going to try to help you and get you off it, or we'll try to get you mainstreamed in another. So either go in two directions, but you get them off the street somehow, and instead of wasting money on all this other crap they're doing, put it into this, give it a shot, see what happens.
Yeah.
But get them off the street one way or another.
To me, this is the key word here, addicts. So, in order to break the addiction, you give them more needles. So right now, the city of Boston, in the last 4 years, has given the addicts 4.5 million needles. So if someone is addicted to chocolate, do you buy chocolate for Christmas and give it to them and say, open your mouth and jam it down their throats? This is bloody insanity. Now, I get a kick out of the mayor of Boston, Mayor Wu. She's a beauty. They had an island.
Yeah, in Boston Harbor.
Yep, in Boston Harbor. The bridge went kaput.
Yep.
So that was 4 or 5 years ago? They're still arguing about who's going to rebuild the bridge. The city of Quincy does not want that bridge rebuilt because they don't want those people coming to that island. So they're saying, no, we're not going to.
Well, what's going on the island now? Because I've never really
Well, a
been.
bunch of buildings,
Yeah.
and they were putting addicts in the
they're
buildings
doing that
and
now.
treating them.
Oh, well,
But now they got no way of getting out there.
Well, I don't know. Take them in a boat?
Well, yeah, but how about the people that work with them, the doctors and the nurses and all that stuff?
Well, give
you
them
can't very well boat them every day.
Well,
That plan was scrubbed.
yeah.
So they're saying, well, we've got to repair the bridge. So Quincy and Boston have been fighting about it. So we've lost 4 or 5 years, okay? And they don't even talk now about it. So the deal is, the perfect solution is to build the damn bridge, okay? So you can drive people back and forth. Go over there, put them over there, and get back to business as usual. It was working before.
Yeah, right.
They can't do that. Instead, they put them on a damn street corner, and they give them tents, or they get tents, and they live in the gutter. And they give them needles and say, keep on shooting yourself up. I refuse to believe that this is the work of a sane person, Mayor Wu. I can't believe that anyone would seriously, and believe me, when I tell you that I believe the mayor of Quincy and the mayor of Boston talk quite often, and let's just keep on doing this, and it's stopped. Nothing's happening. We got nothing to worry about. Yeah. What a way to run a railroad, huh?
God.
In the meantime, you got addicts. Winter's coming. They're living in a tent in the gutter. I don't know how they get fed, but I'd be willing to bet you the city of Boston brings a soup kitchen around, a mobile soup kitchen or something. Crime is rampant. They're killing each other or stealing from each other. And now we're going to have frostbite and everything else coming. This is government? I mean, they should be put in jail and locked up forever. The governor of Quincy and the governor of Mayor of Massachusetts. Mayor of Boston.
Boston.
Good work, Bill. Now see, I'm getting excited. This is interesting. Ban on phones goes better than expected in New York City schools. This is an interesting thing. Guess who's happy with it? The kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were worrying about the kids revolting, running outside and on their phones. And they lock the phones up at the beginning of the school day. They give them the phones
And they
back.
leave, yeah.
And there's some kind of a hotline for the parents
Yeah,
to
sure.
call
Yeah.
if Uncle Jed just fell down the stairs
Right,
and
right.
landed on the cat or
Right.
something.
Right.
And the kids are doing better in school
Sure.
because they
Yeah.
don't have that distraction. And all the brains in the education system more or less guessed wrong on this. They felt the kids were going to rebel. They were going to run outside as in a break time and get that phone out and I don't know. But anyway, it's a very pleasant surprise. Now,
Remember when the kids were in junior high and grade school back in our time?
yeah,
What you do is when school was over, you went home and you did your homework, and then you'd go outside, go back to the schoolyard and have a pickup game of touch football or basketball or baseball.
Yeah.
And on the weekends, you'd go to the school ground again and have a baseball
Sure.
game. You know,
Sure.
guys would bring a couple bats, you'd bring your glove, a few balls, and nobody stayed home indoors.
That's right.
Now, you walk down any street, you don't see kids outside anymore.
Nope.
Nobody's outside.
but if you could see inside those windows,
Yeah, you'd see 'em.
you'd
Yeah.
see them looking at computer screens and going "Me, me, 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 me," with their phone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that can't be good.
No, and it isn't. And that's
No.
part of the problem in society.
Now, they also have 3 letters to the editors here. Most schools are separating students from cell phones clutches. And this is just a teacher from Bridgewater who says, yep, it's doing the same thing down here in Bridgewater. Cell phone bans are great, but AI could pose a bigger problem. Such a ban would be great, but we have a bigger problem. Parents and schools are being told that students need to use artificial intelligence in education. The same arguments the tech companies used to justify increased educational technology in class are being used to justify increasing AI use in schools now. Let's not be fooled again. Our students shouldn't be a grand social experiment to enrich tech companies. The claims these firms are making are marketing claims, not educationally researched findings. We need to be wary and protect our students from another technological and social experience. Mary Holmes, Worcester. Let me tell you something. Mary nailed it right there. The companies that make this stuff, AI and all this equipment, are interested not in the kids.
No, they're not. No.
They're interested in the kids providing data to them.
Right. They want them hooked on it.
Yep.
Hooked.
It's not good for the kids.
And they're not doing well in school. Was
No.
it 30% of some kids in 8th grade can't do math or English? 30%? I mean, I remember when I was in Natick, I was born in Natick, went to the school system. And when I was in the 3rd and 4th grade, right, Natick got so big, you know, they were booming.
Yes.
Route 9 and all that.
At 128.
So they had to build a new school, right? So it was an old school. My father went to it, and I had my father's teachers, a couple of them, they were in their 60s. And before the new school was built, while they were building it, they had to put the 3rd and 4th grade in one room, and the 5th and 6th grade in one big room, one teacher, approximately 50 to 60 kids. So you had one teacher teaching 50 or 60 kids in one big room, and half would be the 3rd grade, and the other side would be the 4th grade. So she'd go to the 3rd grade, and we'll do spelling. Okay, teach them, and all right, spell all these words. Okay, then she'd move over to the other 4th grade. Let's do multiplications, and that's how it was for 2 years. But when I graduated, school, I could do math, I could do English, with 60 kids in the class and one teacher. So it's not technology that makes you smart. It's the teacher and the position you're in.
You described Norfolk Center School, where the Protestant church is right now.
Right.
The side of it.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's where the church. That's where the school was.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And upstairs was the 7th and 8th grade in the same room. Downstairs, the 3rd and the 4th in the same room, one teacher. And you know what? I survived it.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
We went to college. We became successful. We did well. So
Stayed out of jail.
yeah, stayed out. So you had teachers that
We're getting the message across.
getting across and had discipline, and the parents backed the teachers. And I remember, like, in the 6th grade, right, this big burly teacher in the 6th grade that taught my father. So we're in the new school now, so we had, nice desks and nice building and everything. So she was doing something on the board, and a kid would be talking. She'd turn around and say, "Don't say anymore, don't talk again, or else." So she'd go back, and the kid talked again. Now the kid desk was where the windows on the wall were looking out, and that was the first row. So she heard him talk, so she put the chalk down, went over, grabbed the kid by his hair, picked him up off the chair, and threw him against the wall. And the rest of us were, and nobody made a peep in that room forever.
Ed,
And you wouldn't go home and tell the teacher that the teacher did that to you. Nowadays, the teacher would be in prison.
do you know that you and I are identical twins?
Sure, we were the same.
Same era.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So we had a kid in my class who was the class clown, but he was a stupid class clown. He wasn't intelligent. He was dumb. So, and his same thing. Arthur, shut up! Dum, 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 dum. She went down to his desk, grabbed him by both ears, and shook his head, screaming at him. "Now," she said, "drag your desk up beside mine. You guys, one of you boys, help this," whatever it was. And they dragged it up there, and he had the desk faced around so that he was facing the class. She said, "Oh no, turn him around so he faces the blackboard." And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And you couldn't hear a peep in that room.
Oh, yeah. Now,
that was Miss Day.
But I was just going to say that the one in Norfolk that was close to that, because my kids had her, when she was in the school at the time. And that's the same type of teacher you and I had.
Yeah.
And there was discipline, and you learned, that was it. Wasn't any of these other, like, teach you how to do this, that, teach them math, science, and English.
Civics.
If you can, if you can, and civics too, as you get into junior high and high school. Learn how the government runs.
That's
learn
right.
how, the selectmen and there's mayors, and this is how, learn that. You don't do that now. And, maybe it's too far gone now. Maybe we'll never get back to that.
I was very lucky with Miss Day and Mrs. McBride. She was the principal. Miss Day was the tyrant. Both of them had lived in town all their lives. Well, so hadn't my mother and father, you know, and the Sullivan family, and it's all intertwined.
Yeah, right.
So that when I showed up in class, it was, Billy, how's your Uncle Ed, and how's your mommy, and blah, blah, blah. I never got into any trouble at all. Now, I was fairly well behaved. So, but nothing. They both, you know, they were friends of the family.
Yeah.
But Arthur, and guys like Arthur, she had no time for. In fact, I often thought that if she could pull it off, she'd kill him. Oh, God. But, you know, we had a good education.
Yeah, no, we did.
Miss Day was a good teacher. When the 8th grade rolled around, she said, now, you guys are going to go to Walpole High School next year. You're going to be freshmen in high school in Walpole. So I know what the courses are that you guys are going to take. So here's the deal. She says, we're going to do 8th grade work here, but we're also going to look at 9th grade work. And we're going to I'm going to show you Latin, some math, algebra, and stuff. I mean, she gave us a head start.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Along with teaching the regular curriculum.
Right.
So, I mean, anybody that says to me, you know, Norfolk teachers, wow, woo, not then.
No, it isn't, no.
Nope.
But the other thing, too, is you've got kids now with special needs, you know, and they've got problems, some mental, some physical. So now everybody's got to be in the same class. Before, maybe they had different, you know, they separated them a little. Now everybody's got to be in the same class. So you've got to teach to the middle to bottom of that group. So the smart kids get bored, and you know, and they don't like school because they're not learning anything.
Right.
Because so that's the problem. You've got groups now that have to be educated in the same room, and they can't all go at the same speed, and that's the problem. I always said they should have schools for smart kids, geniuses, okay? You know, whether it's grade school up, and put them all the geniuses in that school, and teach them as much as you teach them algebra in the 2nd grade.
Tell them to
if they
open
can do
wide
it.
and just shovel it
Go
in.
crazy with them. And then the rest of us,
Sure.
maybe me, you,
Yeah.
we're not geniuses. I know I'm not, but you might be. Put those kids in a school and teach them regular stuff
Well,
like
you
we
know,
taught.
we-
But they said, no, you can't do that because, you know, you're making the other kids feel bad because,
Yeah,
you know.
they feel icky,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. But, you know, these are the ones who are going to learn medicine and technology and make your life better. Doctors and you know, technology, and then you want that.
Of course.
You don't want them losing out, and you push them ahead. And I said that years ago. Take these kids, put them in, like you have the vocational school for all these towns. You have a smart school for all these towns, and push the hell out of them.
Yeah.
If they can do algebra in 2nd grade, good. That's great,
Yeah.
you know. But don't hold them back because you want to make everybody equal.
And we went, and I'm not sure I understand how it all happened. I was out of school. But they went to level 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
Level 1, smart.
yeah,
Level 2, average.
yeah,
Number 3, slow.
yeah. Well, that's what they had in Natick, but it was for reading, just for reading.
Just reading?
Just
Well,
reading.
They had it across the board.
Yeah, no, this was just reading. They'd have 3
And-
different classes for reading.
And they had the slow kids over there. smart kids over there, and maybe back here, the average. Well, what they discovered was we're paying 3 teachers.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be that way, okay? But what really happened was parents got mad. Why is Bobby in 3? He should be in 2, if not 1. Bobby can't even count, for heaven's sakes. You know, but so they had to do away with that.
Yeah, no, I know.
You know what else is funny too? Really funny. And I'm not going to mention any names. I would never do that. But I have friends that are school teachers. And I have said, you know, it's kind of fun being at a party with you guys and getting to talk to you and having a couple of beers or whatever. And you telling me all this stuff that's wrong. I said, would you come on my program? Well, I tell you what, you never saw people run out the door any faster. She said, the other teachers would kill me.
That's true. Yep.
We get teachers that are just going through the motions. So, an adjunct to that story. So I was teaching CCD, Sunday school. And we always finished early because there wasn't a lot to teach. And,
Sure.
and I always said about 25 minutes through, you know, oh, we got another half an hour to go, guys. What do you want to talk about? Any subject you want to talk about, let's talk about it. And it was fun. So, so I got involved about halfway through, and I said, tell me about going to King Philip. What? Can you sum it up in one word, like good, bad, disappointing, over my head, stupid, the teacher's awful, anything? So they said, it was interesting, but what they said was, most of the teachers don't care. So I said, can you give me a for instance? Yeah, sure. We have one teacher that comes in. When she says, sit down, you know, wait till the class quiets down. She says, okay, get your notebooks out. I'm going to dictate and give you notes. So she's up to the blackboard and she's doing things, and she's at the same time reading, dictating, and does everybody getting this? Yep. And so at the end of the class, she says, okay, now, tomorrow we'll do the same thing. Wednesday we'll do the same thing. Thursday we'll review the notes. Friday we'll have a quiz. So the girl that was telling me this story was the smartest of the bunch. I mean, she was bright. So she said, Mr. Crane, do you see a pattern here? I says, yeah. She said, is it the same pattern I see? I says, I don't know. She said, well, she never talks to us. Never says, okay, this thing right here, how would you describe this? Never anything like that. Or, or what did you think about the president yesterday on TV saying this and this? Never.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever talk to the kids. 1 + 1 = 2. Write that down. So she said, you might as well just fall on the floor. You're not learning anything. And if you say anything to her, like a couple of us have, she gets mad.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we went on like that for quite a while. They told me stories like that. And they said, no, you can't repeat this, Mr. Crane, please, because they'll kill us. But pass us for education? So I said to myself, I'll ask some other people. I asked my sons, and they said, oh, yeah. And one of them announced one day, one of the teachers announced one day, something like, look, I got a problem here in my personal life. I have to write a letter. You guys sit and study and shut up. She was sitting up there. That was the class.
Yeah.
But you know, if that happens once in a lifetime, well, it must have been important. But she was always doing stuff like that. You know, her problems came before your education. But,
well, maybe they should have a system where a parent of one of the 20 or 30 kids in the room goes to the school and sits in that class.
as a monitor.
Okay, as a monitor. You do it. Each parent has a week. What is there? How many weeks in the school year? 30 something?
4 or 2.
So each parent, once or twice, just come for that 1 or 2 hours and monitor it.
Yeah.
And then report back to the school board.
Absolutely.
And go to the school board, says, this is not right, we want to change it.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, we're going to get someone to run against you, and we're going to put our people in there. That's the only way you're going to police
You're
it.
right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree anymore. I've gotten off the... Too many kids can't read. Blame lack of spelling tests. Well, they draw a correlation in here between learning spelling and sounding out words as you read. I guess there's something to it, because this person here is a smart person that wrote this, and it all comes down to learning spelling before reading. And I was taught reading before spelling.
That's right.
And I could read before I went to school. My grandfather taught me how to read. Now, was I a linguist? No. But I could read.
Yeah, sure.
So it was a good head start. But the lack of tests in school, I was never impressed with teachers and tests in civics, history, geography, whatever you want to, you can interject your opinion. Not like algebra where it's right or wrong. Yeah. But I thought that the tests were pretty damn easy.
Well, if you paid attention in class, that's all you really had to do.
Yeah.
It's not like algebra or the math.
Yeah.
You got to go home and you got to study A plus B equals C. If A is this, you got to study that. Talking about civics and history, you just listen to it and maybe read, and that's all you need. It's not like a intensive type of subject.
Exactly. You need to know that country A attacked Country B because of a dispute over land. But you don't need to know the landowner's name was Robert Smith, or that he drove a Jeep, or or that his mother had committed suicide. Or you don't need to know that stuff. You need to know the argument was about the river as it run through the land, and it was this guy versus this guy, and this guy won.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, really. But I had a teacher, too, that Jack Jordan was his name, and he was a hothead. He was also the football coach. And he came in more than once, but one day I'll always remember he came in. All right. I'm mad. Do you want to listen to 1 hour of me raving? Or do you want me to give you an assignment to do and you're going to sit there and do it and shut up? And I raised my hand, and I was not smart even back then. What are you going to rave about, Coach? Anyway, he raved for an hour.
Wow.
Oh, man. You know, to this day I can't remember what it was about. But it was about something about the way teachers were paid. How they got raises and stuff like that. And, oh, yeah. And the kids, I mean, would go, I was smart in school. So I would always, I had books, and I would always have a pocketbook, a mystery or a Western. I liked Westerns back when I was in high school. Ernest Haycox was my favorite writer. He was good. And so I always had something I could read. Just sit there
While
and
he was
read.
ranting.
Yeah. But the other people, some of the kids would start making noises, and then he'd really get blasted off. But you know what? I brought something I wanted to talk about. This would be a good time to do it. Ta-da! Ta-da!
It's like we get some reading ahead, huh?
Yeah. So every once in a while, a couple of times anyway, Dwayne and I would do, I've been reading. And so I had these books. I just finished most of them. And
10 minutes.
good. This is perfect.
Good. All right.
David Baldacci. Now, David Baldacci, boys and girls, is a good writer. But he bobs and weaves too much. He's over here, he's over there, he's up there. I find difficult to follow sometimes. Then there are other times he's right on the mark, goes sharp as a tack, and writes a good book. He uses good English, is there a list of, yes, there is. All right, it's not an up-to-date list of his writings, but he has a book. Okay, David Baldacci, The 620 Man. The 620 train goes by this guy's house. That's what the book is about. It was his next to latest book. And it was up the library, and they had it out on a rack. And I said, by gosh, by golly, I'll take this. This sounds interesting. Take it home. So it was good. So I read the precursor to it and how it led into it. Good. So as luck would have it, he brought out a book to follow the 620 Man. It was good. So I haven't read another good one of his yet.
Was it mostly fiction or?
All fiction, all mysteries. Yeah. Now, Michael Connelly, superb mystery writer. This guy is just so good. It's scary. And he writes, he writes a couple of things, just general books, but most of his stuff is about a fellow by the name of Harry Bosch. Now, Harry Bosch is a real beauty. Has quite a temper, and he's a Los Angeles cop. Now, so folks, if you've never read a Michael Connelly book, get a piece of paper and a pencil, okay? And I'll wait for a minute or two, and I'll repeat the names at the end of this, okay? His first 4 books are great. The first book is The Black Echo. The second book is The Black Ice. The third is The Concrete Blonde. The last one is The Last Coyote. Now, if you're not, at the end of these 4 books, if you're not screaming for, give me a list of the next books he wrote, then check your pulse, because you're probably dead. But the next one he wrote is a break. Okay? Harry Bosch is over and done with for the time being. And he writes a book called The Poet. And The Poet is about a murderer who just wanders from town to town, killing people. Just a really bad, and he's a serial killer, but he puts you right into the body of the serial killer.
Wow.
So the first 5 books of Michael Connelly, Harry Bosch are the first 4, and then The Poet, some no-name guy. Great stuff. Great stuff. Now, Bird Lovers. This is a book by Jennifer Ackerman. It's called What an Owl Knows. Now, one of my kids gave me this for Christmas because I feed the birds. I like birds.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a difficult book to read because she goes from the scientist to then out in the woods tracking owls and what they do and how she can tell whether it's a male or a female. It's fascinating stuff. I liked it. And just to keep me on my own, on top of things, she wrote another one, The Genius of Birds. This is good too. Very good. Talking about the things that birds can do. Well, they do this because of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's a couple of books. I don't know if the library's got them or not, but my name's in the phone book. If you promise to return them, I'll lend them to you. By the way, my history for lending books to people and getting them returned, people don't return books, I'll tell you. They're bad. But anyway, I had one more thing I wanted to talk about before we bailed out, but I guess you'll just have to wait till next time because I don't know what I did with it. But by the way, on a show a couple of years ago, Dwayne and I did a thing, Pet Peeves. I found it. We can go over these pet peeves again. You'll have some to add to this. And the worst people in the world. And but anyway.
2 minutes.
So, folks, we're running out of time. It's been fun being with you. And again, if there's anything you'd like Eddie and I to talk about, don't tell me about trigonometry and have me explain it to you because I don't know anything about that stuff. But if you want me to talk about trapping, I'll do that. But if you think of a subject, and by the way, a couple of people have called. And they had interesting questions.
Good.
We had an interesting conversation, Dwayne and I, about it. So if any of you have any things that are peeving you and you're wondering, I need to get the straight scoop on this, call Norfolk Cable and give them your name and address and the subject you want us to discuss, and we'll be disgustingly disgusting.
Yeah, we will.
So, and not only that, but we do have a fantastic producer too that's on top of things. Yeah. And he'll put the whole thing together for us. By the way, folks, you're going to meet him next show. We're going to bring him right out here and sit him down, and you folks can take a look at him, and we'll explain to you why he's responsible for all these mistakes we've been having. Oh, no. All the good stuff we're doing. So, until next time, boys and girls, I had a list of either or to do, and I didn't do it. Well, that'll wait till next time,
next
too.
Time I'll do that.
Otherwise, so look, folks, stay warm, stay dry, and we will talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Bye-bye.